Gary, you want to introduce the delegations?
I don't believe that our first delegation
Chris
is in
is here
attendance. So Chris Mish. No.
Okay.
Should be the next one.
Okay. Yeah. And BBIA?
Okay, Rick Elliott, Chair of the Black BIA, is here for a presentation, and Rick, if you could also identify and introduce some of the board members that are here as well.
I'd be more than pleased to. For those that don't know who I am, I'm Rick Elliott. I am the chair of the Blige Business Improvement Area, and I'm also a business owner on Main Street at Elliott Nixon Insurance, and occasionally get to the Queen's Bakery because my wife is a partner there, and I've been known to be involved with that too. Our secretary is Sharon Davis, and she is with me tonight. And Deb Scholdice is with the Blythe Center for the Arts, and she's also on our board, and Dave's our representative. And I know that Bill Knott is representing Maitland Transport, and who is also a member of the Blythe BIA. The reason for my visit this evening is just to update North Huron Council on the two applications for HEDP funding that we had submitted back in May that had got returned for some further communication and clarification. The one is a business profile video, which we call Blythe 365. And it is to create a, I think it's, everybody should have a copy of it, is in the package to do a business profile clip that can go on the website for each of the businesses to make a business owner or entrepreneur connection to the public. It can be used on the Huron Tourism Association. It can be used through any of the things that North Huron has to do in now or in the future. And it's an opportunity to really create an economic investment in for new people that are looking at the community to call Blythe home, and obviously North Huron. I can go on. Is there anybody have any questions about that application in particular? No? Okay, in this case, it's not something that we're looking for North Huron to have any investment in. We have it set up in the budget to proceed with that, and it was just a case of getting a letter of blessing to proceed with that. The second application that we've been talking about for a number of months is a marketing coordinator to work a few hours a week. We estimated it somewhere around 10 to 14 hours a week to coordinate the business process and of the BIA, and to specifically go into areas where we can find funding for grant processes, and working with the streetscape, or not the streetscape, the Street Fest, which was previously called the Buster Fest, and trying to create some better organizational process to it. As we're all volunteers, it's hard to keep all the information going, and to have somebody spend a couple of hours a week it was felt that the BIA was looking for it, and it was one of those things that came out of the BRE report last year. And so as the executive had looked at it, it was we can't do it without funding, and it was an opportunity to submit an application in to HEDP for the funding on that. In this one, there was, and if there's any questions about the application, I'd be more than happy to answer. But there was a request in that originally, because there was a $2,500 commitment from North Huron. And I do have to apologize for this. It was something that I was trying to communicate with Gary on before the applications went in, and with telephone tag it didn't work. But nonetheless, there is the need for that $2,500 has diminished. We have a sponsor that is now committed $1,500 to the marketing coordinator. And that's through Sparling's Propane. And so if we can either use that funding on top of this to make the application larger, or depending on what North Huron decides to do on their commitment for the $2,500 funding.
Just a question. The information that is in the council packages indicates $5,000 in terms of the proposed contribution from North Huron. Perhaps you probably have the most up-to-date copy of the application. Just point of clarification there.
Oh, well,
You
okay.
saying
Well, if you won't mind, don't mind, because I'll just go through this. I have it's a 6-month contract, HEDP financing of $10,000, North Huron $2,500, BIA $2,500, for a total of $15,000 in project costs. Application contributions, $2,500 in cash and $5,000 in kind, which is the $5,000, the $2,500 twice. Is that different than what?
Yes. Yes.
It is? So what?
Here's
Okay. All right. Well, I can make a photocopy of this so that everybody wants to, if you wanted to distribute it around, but that was what it ended up with, partner contributions of $7,500.
If I may, so the contribution you're requesting from North Huron is?
Was $2,500 on this, on what I thought you had, okay? But as I said, we've got a $1,500 contribution for this specific thing from Sparling's Propane, so in actual fact, then we're only looking at $1,000. And if we have, and I'm sure that I can find another couple of people to sponsor if North Huron doesn't find that commitment. So, okay.
Question?
Yeah. Rick, as you know, I questioned this some time ago when this first came up, and that my concerns are duplication. I've read through the duties of your coordinator. Pretty well falls the same as my understanding is what Connie's supposed to do for the town. So my question would be, if you hire this person to help you, would it serve a better purpose if Connie was maybe to back off a bit on going to all your regular basis and just touch bases with your coordinator as a backup help, therefore allowing Connie to do other work for the town that's needed to be done? And when I say town, I mean Blythe.
Township, yeah. Honestly, I look at this as a collaborative thing. As far as the biggest part of this, in my opinion, because as a volunteer, is the application process and the application writing. When I did this, it took me quite a while because I had to do a little research and development or rip off and duplicate as we, you didn't get that part. It was research and development. On trying to create these things I've never done before. And so I've got a template now that I can work with. But to be able to, I would really like to not say that I am too busy to do what I need to do, but I also know that Connie has responsibilities in North Huron, and I would like to see this as a complementary thing, but if it's a case where she has time to be able to do applications for us, then this may make this redundant, but at the same time it could be a collective thing, because we're only looking at this point, we're talking 10 to 14 hours. We may be able to reduce this back to 1 day a week and just do 6 to 7 hours.
And that's what I'm suggesting, rather have the duplication if Connie was to back off, and there's other, I mean, we need money for fixing the town hall and money for everything like every other community. And I'm just wondering, since you're taking this step forward to have this person, rather than Connie be at every BIA meeting, if she would take that time and concentrate on other jobs for all of us, would you feel comfortable? And then the person that you decide to hire could coordinate with Connie on anything that needs to go further.
Well, again, I'm not Connie's boss.
Thank you. I have to say that, in my role as economic development, one of the most important things that I do is communicate with our existing businesses and be a resource for the businesses that are there. I'm very excited about the potential for this position because, I mean, we can always use help elsewhere, but to lose that communication piece and that networking that we do, and it's one meeting a month, and if there's somebody doing some administrative stuff, that's excellent, but I don't think we want to lose that communication with our business associations. I think that's a vital piece of economic development.
So you don't see this as duplication?
No, not at all.
Job description for Connie sometime, please. I've asked for several times just to compare with this, and I won't hold this up.
No, and as I said, it's part of the communication that we have to, even with doing the 2 applications that we did and we submitted, it was something that we've talked about at the BIA for a number of months. I didn't, and I guess because of my naivety, I would say that I assumed that everybody was aware that we were doing it. But apparently that wasn't the case. And so what we really want to do is in something like this, the applications could be done and they can be submitted up to North Shore in order for time. I'm an insurance broker and I have to deal with timelines in my business, but as a volunteer I also have to watch the timelines and stuff to get that, and I run out of my own time to be able to prioritize it. So I'm looking at this as something to really support the executive. And
Councillor Vaughn?
I'd just like to say that I think the discussion about Connie changing her job, so that's micromanaging. That's not our role. I think it's the role of our CAO clerk. I think this is a very exciting opportunity that we're offering here, and I would make a motion that we contribute $2,500 as Rick was expecting to start.
so that, as I said, we've got the street festival that we're trying to do, and I know that everybody is volunteering their time or presenting. I know Connie shows up at those meetings to try and help create continuity to it. And I'm sure that Connie will be the first one to admit if there's something she feels is a duplication, that she doesn't need to be that resource, that she would probably back off. But at this point, we need all the help we can get. And this is why we're looking at, from a BIA standpoint, to try and find somebody to get us through the summer months, to do some planning, to do some long-term planning, and get some funding, get some grants opened up, and look what we can do. So.
Thank you very much. I just
I'm
wanted to.
taking Councillor McGowan.
Sorry, Your Worship, my questions have been answered.
Okay.
I was just going to second Brock's motion.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Carried.
So Gary, I'll send you a copy of this revised budget then? I thought I did, but I will send a copy of that to you. And then I guess, are you going to submit the applications, or do you want me to, or you send it down to me and I'll send it over, or?
So you require a letter of support from North Huron?
I believe that was,
with respect to the video project.
there was a letter,
Confirmation with the funding.
there was a, no, the marketing coordinator, BIA they need an EDO letter of support for the marketing coordinator. And that, I believe, is the only piece of that needed to be, the part on the video, I don't, other than the communication between the BIA and the long-term council was I think the only part of that needed the support at the HEDP level.
Brock?
The question that came up was the evidence of coordination with council.
Mm.
And so a letter of support from this council would be great, but I think you should submit the applications.
Okay.
Okay. And I'll be at that meeting and I'll support the.
Okay. So you want it in a mail format or email?
Email's fine.
Email to, is the last one I sent in to?
Could be to Douglas.
To Douglas?
Yes.
Okay. All right, anything else?
So you're submitting the application on
I'll
behalf
submit the application, so I guess I'll need the letter of support from Connie on the marketing coordinator.
When is this
I
due
think
back?
it has to be in by the Friday.
Wednesday of this week?
It's Wednesday of this week, yeah, so I'll need it tomorrow. And then do we need a letter of support for the video, Brock?
Pardon?
Do we need a letter of support for the video?
No, I can, oh, no. Yes, maybe you should.
Okay, could I get that from you then, Gary?
Yeah, because there isn't any other documentation with it.
Yeah, okay.
Making a good direction.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
Any other questions before I head to my next meeting?
Dave, did you have anything?
Nope, I'm good.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Rob.